Good afternoon, folks. I'm meteorologist Ross Mumal here with a quick kind of First Coast News weather update. We got a lot going on here tonight, tomorrow, and really throughout the rest of the week. Big changes on the way. Big transition period over about the next 36 to 48 hours as well, as we're tracking a very strong cold front making its way across the deep south here this afternoon and this evening. That will eventually bring some rain to the First Coast here over about the next 12 to 18 hours. And then a significant cool down is going to be on the way, especially by Thursday, Friday, and into the weekend. So again, I'm Ross Mumal. I've got my guy Andy working all the bells and whistles behind the camera. So let's just get into it here now this evening. So strongest line of showers, downpours, even a few isolated thunderstorms, pretty much from Dothan down to Panama City there. And this is all going to be headed towards Tallahassee within the next several hours. A little bit of lightning there, primarily just off the coast of Panama City, but overall, most of these storms aren't really packing a punch. Pretty much just some heavy rain for them. No rain across the First Coast for the time being, but you can see really just north of Valdosta there along the I-75 corridor, we're starting to see at least a little bit of some light rain and showers moving on in. So after about 7, 8 o'clock here tonight, I-75 is going to start to see some rain increase. So that's going to be the Lake City area, the Suwannee Valley, and then eventually up towards the Okefenokee after about 9, 10 o'clock. Similar story then for Jacksonville, and most of I-95 going to be closer to about 10, 11 p.m. this evening. And again, this is all going to be from pretty strong cold front that actually brought a lot of severe weather to northern Texas, Oklahoma, Louisiana yesterday. This is now sweeping across the rest of the country, pushing in these showers throughout the remainder of this evening, overnight tonight into early tomorrow morning. That eventually clears out then by about midday tomorrow, and then some pretty cold air sweeps its way in by late tomorrow night and then throughout the day on Thursday. So we'll get to the colder air here in a second. Let's just time it out here for the rest of your night tonight. As I mentioned, 8, 9, 10 p.m., I-75 starting to see some of those showers begin to roll on in. As this thing moves further to the east and southeast, you're going to notice it loses a lot of steam. These storms really aren't going to be one, packing all that much of a punch, but also two, the moisture is just kind of getting drained out of it a little bit. So by the time some of these showers make their way to Jacksonville after midnight and overnight tonight, there might not be all that much rain left in it. Some folks might only pick up a quarter to a half inch of rain. I think our far western areas at most could pick up a half inch to a full inch of rain, but this is not going to be a super soaker of a storm system making its way through. But nonetheless, the heaviest of the rain that is going to come will pretty much be out of here by about sunrise tomorrow morning. And then we're going to just continue to kind of see some clouds and some light showers lingering around through the morning commute before everything pretty much clears on out then by lunchtime. And then your afternoon is looking much drier and also going to be a little bit breezy as well. So just hour by hour for your Wednesday tomorrow. Temperatures in the morning, mid-60s. Still going to see some of those light showers and rain, drizzle kind of lingering around. Afternoon, a little bit more sunshine. Still, though, pretty warm day until that colder air finally sweeps on in. A lot of the time, with these cold fronts, that cold air can actually kind of lag behind a little bit. So the actual frontal boundary comes in first, and then that blast of cold air comes in behind it. You can kind of see that here. All that cold air up across the Rockies, the upper Midwest, so I'm talking Kansas, Nebraska, the Dakotas, where temperatures are in the 30s and the 20s right now. That's eventually going to work its way down towards us. We're not going to see temperatures that cold. It's going to moderate out a little bit by the time it reaches this far to the south and southeast. But we are going to be experiencing cooler temperatures and fairly breezy conditions as well. So throughout tomorrow, we're going to notice a wind shift from the southwest in the morning to the northwest in the afternoon and evening once that front swings its way through. Sustained winds anywhere from about 10 to 20 miles per hour, gusts upwards of about 25. And then as you head into Thursday, Friday, even really the first half of Saturday, I'd say, winds still going to be pretty strong out of the west-northwest, anywhere from 20 to 25 miles per hour peak winds, and will be very, very windy if you are a boater and you're headed out on the intercoastal or just offshore there. Winds over the water is going to be very, very cool, or very, very strong, I should say, but also cooling down those sea surface temperatures just off the coast as well. So cooler air blowing on in by Thursday. Morning low is going to be in the upper 40s Thursday morning. Highs then only topping off in the mid 60s. So that's really what we're going to be dealing with over the next several days once this front passes on through. Highs in the 40s, lows in the 40s, highs then in the 60s. Friday morning lows going to be even cooler. if you live west of Highway 301, out across Baker County, Columbia County, and then up across the Okeechobee from Folkston to Waycross, and even Glenn County there in Brunswick, morning lows could be in the upper 30s, potentially mid 30s. So we might be talking about our first frost of the year for some of those areas. Now, the closer you live to the coast and to the beaches, those morning lows going to be closer to about the mid to upper 40s. So a wide variety of morning low temperatures here through the end of the week and into the weekend. By Friday afternoon, probably going to be our coldest day of the week. Highs are going to struggle to get out of the low 60s. You factor in the winds. I've talked about that, 15 to 25 miles per hour out of the northwest. Real field temperatures are probably going to be feeling like the mid to upper 50s for a lot of us. So it is going to be a very chilly, cold end to the week here. Good news, though, no rain in the forecast for the end of the weekend. So tonight and tomorrow morning is pretty much our only chance of rain over the next 7 days. After that, high pressure builds in. All this cooler and drier air brings really just a lot of sunshine and dry skies for the foreseeable future. And again, that's going to continue through the weekend. So for any college football fans, man, we got a full slate as well. Beautiful weather for all of the SEC and ACC games across or around the First Coast. We got Florida, Georgia, and Florida State all planned at home this weekend. Kickoff in Gainesville at noon against Ole Miss on Saturday. Kickoff temperature is going to be in the mid-60s there. Upper 50s for the Dogs going against the UMass Minutemen up in Athens come 12:45 Saturday afternoon. And then Tallahassee, kickoff temperatures there, 1:30 in the low to mid-60s. So beautiful weekend. It's going to be on the chillier side, but I like to think that's football weather here across the First Coast, especially now that we're working our way into the middle of November, which means we're only, 9 days away now from Thanksgiving. So let's get you a little tease at what we're looking at for next week, your Thanksgiving, your forecast, Black Friday forecast, and really just kind of the outlook of what things are trending towards for the holiday next week and your holiday weekend. So overall, warmer than normal temperatures are expected. Our average high right now is about 71, 72 degrees. We're likely expecting temperatures in the mid to upper 70s by the middle of next week. So expect a warmer Thanksgiving, potentially some rain. I think the best chance to see some wetter weather is going to be just off to our north. So here comes our big cool down through the end of the week. You see that big glob of just kind of cooler colors, those greens, those blue, even a little bit of some lake effect snow trying to work in across the mid-Atlantic from West Virginia up into Pennsylvania and New York. So big blast of cool air there. That kind of then sweeps its way out. We get a big ridge of high pressure building in, and that will slowly allow those temperatures to warm back up. So mid to upper 70s return by Monday and Tuesday and even into Wednesday of next week. And then here comes a cold front across the Ohio and Tennessee river valleys. That looks to stall out just to our north. So for now, I think we'll be dry in Jacksonville, and most of the First Coast will remain dry for Thanksgiving. But if you have any travel plans just to the north of Jacksonville, could be seeing some rain. So I'm talking about Atlanta, Nashville, Knoxville, Louisville, Kentucky, Asheville, North Carolina could even see some rain. But overall, warmer temperatures for Jacksonville for Thanksgiving, drier weather. If you're traveling, here's a quick look at your way too early Thanksgiving travel forecast. If you want some colder weather, some snow, I recommend maybe heading out to the Rockies, Denver, Colorado, Bozeman, Montana, maybe where temperatures are going to be in the 30s and 50s, or maybe just head up to Minnesota. Much cooler up there, temperatures down into the mid-20s potentially. So much colder across the west and northwest and the Pacific coast of the United States. Much warmer here across the First Coast. So let's just wrap it all up, tie a bow on it here. Nice little package for you. Rain moving in tonight, not going to reach Jacksonville until long after sunset, closer to about 9 to 10 p.m. tonight. That will continue overnight and into very early tomorrow morning. Lingering showers tomorrow morning, drier by your Wednesday afternoon. And then the rest of the forecast is pretty easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Lots of sunshine, drier weather, colder temperatures. Lows going to be down into the low to mid 40s starting Thursday. That will continue through the weekend. Highs also in the low 60s. So break out the sweatshirts, the sweaters, the sweatpants, maybe even a knit hat for some of those morning dog walkers out there before we finally start to warm back up into the 70s by early next week. Again, I'm meteorologist Ross Mumal. Quick little weather update here for you for the rain tonight and the big cool down on the way for First Coast News Plus.